Good morning, I'm Remo, and this is the Daily Signal for Tuesday, November 5th, 2025. We're starting today with remarkable news from Egypt. The world's largest archaeological museum has officially opened its doors to the public after decades of preparation, showcasing humanity's greatest ancient treasures under one magnificent roof.
Unfiltered.
Now let's dive into each story. Egypt's $1 billion Grand Egyptian Museum opens to worldwide celebration, housing the complete Tutankhamun collection for the first time in history. Brazil's president calls for transparent investigation into Rio police operation that resulted in 121 deaths, promising justice and reform. COP30 climate summit in Brazil enters critical phase as world leaders commit to ambitious new emission reduction targets. European space program achieves milestone with successful Ariane 6 launch of advanced Earth observation satellite. International aid mobilizes for Philippines and Vietnam as Typhoon Kalmagi recovery efforts expand across the region. UK Treasury announces comprehensive inflation strategy, signaling major budget priorities for economic stability. UN Secretary-General calls for immediate international intervention as Sudan's humanitarian crisis deepens. Ukraine's strategic operations intensify around Pokrovsk, with special forces conducting precision missions. Brussels Airport resumes full operations after swift response to unauthorized drone activity demonstrates enhanced security protocols. China's space program demonstrates resilience as engineers successfully address space station debris concerns, ensuring astronaut safety. Let's explore each story in detail. History was made yesterday in Egypt as the Grand Egyptian Museum officially opened to the public, culminating a $1 billion project that's been decades in the making. Located near the Giza Pyramids, this magnificent facility is now the world's largest museum dedicated to a single civilization. The opening ceremony brought together Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi with European royalty and international leaders, celebrating not just Egypt's heritage, but humanity's shared cultural legacy. For the first time ever, visitors can see the complete Tutankhamun collection in one location. Over 5,000 artifacts that have captivated the world for a century. What makes this extraordinary is the museum's innovative design. The building itself is an architectural marvel, with panoramic views of the Great Pyramids serving as a backdrop to ancient treasures. Interactive displays use cutting-edge technology to bring 3,000 years of Egyptian civilization to life. This matters because cultural preservation drives tourism, education, and international cooperation. The museum is expected to welcome 15 million visitors annually, providing significant economic benefits for Egypt and making ancient history accessible to a global audience. The opening represents hope that even in challenging times, humanity continues to celebrate and preserve our greatest achievements. President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva is taking decisive action following last week's deadly police operation in Rio de Janeiro that resulted in 121 deaths. Calling it a massacre, President Lula has demanded a comprehensive investigation into what became Brazil's deadliest police action in history. The October 28th operation targeted the Red Command criminal organization in the Alamo and Penha favelas, involving 2,500 officers. While the operation aimed to dismantle drug trafficking networks, the high casualty count has sparked national debate about police tactics and accountability. International human rights organizations, including Amnesty International and the Inter-American Commission on Human Rights, are calling for independent oversight of the investigation. President Lula's administration has committed to transparency and potential police reform. The positive development here is Brazil's commitment to accountability. Rather than defending controversial tactics, the government is actively investigating and promises systemic changes. Community leaders are working with authorities to ensure future operations prioritize civilian safety. This demonstrates how democratic institutions can respond to tragedy with transparency and reform, potentially setting new standards for law enforcement operations across Latin America. Brazil is hosting what President Lula calls the COP of Truth, the COP30 climate summit that's bringing unprecedented urgency to global climate action. Taking place in the heart of the Amazon, this summit is where nations are finalizing the most ambitious emission reduction targets in history. The European Union announced new climate commitments yesterday, including accelerated renewable energy transitions and increased climate financing for developing nations. What's remarkable is the consensus building around practical, implementable solutions rather than just promises. The summit's location in Brazil is symbolic and strategic. The Amazon rainforest serves as a powerful reminder of what's at stake, while Brazil's leadership in renewable energy demonstrates that environmental protection and economic growth can coexist. Indigenous leaders are playing a crucial role, sharing traditional knowledge that's informing modern climate solutions. Their presence ensures that local communities have a voice in global decisions that affect their futures. Why this matters to you? The agreements reached this week will influence energy prices, job markets, and environmental policies in your community for the next decade. Early reports suggest breakthrough agreements on clean technology sharing and climate adaptation funding. This summit is generating genuine optimism that 2025 could mark the turning point towards sustainable global development. Europe's space program reached new heights yesterday with the successful launch of the Ariane 6 rocket, delivering the advanced Sentinel-1D Earth observation satellite to orbit. This achievement represents both technological excellence and practical benefits for millions of people worldwide. The Sentinel-1D satellite will enhance our ability to monitor climate change, predict natural disasters, and track environmental changes with unprecedented precision. Its radar technology can penetrate clouds and darkness, providing continuous Earth monitoring regardless of weather conditions. What makes this launch particularly significant is Europe's growing independence in space technology. The Ariane 6 represents years of innovation, creating thousands of high-tech jobs and positioning Europe as a leader in commercial and scientific space missions. The satellite will immediately begin supporting disaster response efforts, agricultural monitoring, and climate research. Within weeks, it will be providing data that helps predict floods, monitor deforestation, and track urban development patterns. This technology directly benefits your daily life, from more accurate weather forecasts to better disaster preparedness in your community. The satellite's data will support everything from insurance assessments to agricultural planning. The launch also demonstrates international cooperation, with multiple European nations contributing expertise and resources to achieve shared scientific goals. International aid is flowing to the Philippines and Vietnam as communities demonstrate remarkable resilience in responding to Typhoon Kalmaagi's devastating impact. While the storm claimed at least 58 lives in the Philippines, the swift international response showcases humanity's capacity for compassion and cooperation. Emergency response teams from across the region are coordinating rescue operations with particular focus on remote island communities that bore the storm's full force. The Philippines' disaster response system, strengthened by previous typhoon experiences, is proving effective in coordinating relief efforts. Vietnam is taking proactive measures as the typhoon approaches, with large-scale evacuations already underway. The country's improved early warning systems and disaster preparedness, developed through years of experience with severe weather, are saving lives. What's inspiring is the international community's rapid response. Countries across Asia are providing emergency supplies, rescue equipment, and financial support. Non-governmental organizations are working alongside government agencies to ensure aid reaches the most vulnerable communities. The human stories emerging from this disaster are remarkable: communities sharing resources, neighbors helping neighbors evacuate, and young people using social media to coordinate rescue efforts. This tragedy is bringing out the best in human nature, demonstrating that even in our most challenging moments, cooperation and compassion prevail. UK Treasury Chief Rachel Reeves is outlining a comprehensive strategy to tackle inflation while maintaining economic growth, signaling Britain's commitment to financial stability in uncertain global times. Her approach focuses on targeted intervention rather than broad economic shock therapy. The strategy emphasizes supporting working families while controlling price pressures through strategic government investment and partnership with private sector. Early market responses suggest confidence in the UK's measured approach to economic challenges. Key elements include enhanced support for energy efficiency programs, strategic infrastructure investment, and targeted assistance for essential goods pricing. These measures aim to address inflation's root causes rather than just its symptoms. Why this matters globally. The UK's economic policies often influence international markets and trading relationships. A stable British economy supports global trade and provides a model for other nations facing similar inflationary pressures. The positive aspect is the focus on sustainable, long-term solutions rather than quick fixes that might create future problems. UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres is mobilizing international support for Sudan as the humanitarian crisis requires immediate global attention. Rather than simply documenting the tragedy, the UN is actively coordinating emergency response and diplomatic solutions. Multiple countries are increasing humanitarian aid, while regional leaders work to facilitate dialogue between conflicting parties. The African Union is taking a leadership role in mediation efforts, demonstrating regional ownership of solutions. What's encouraging is the focus on civilian protection and humanitarian access. International organizations are finding innovative ways to deliver aid despite security challenges, ensuring essential supplies reach the most vulnerable populations. The crisis is also spurring important conversations about conflict prevention and early intervention, potentially improving how the international community responds to future crises. While the situation remains serious, the coordinated international response demonstrates that the global community is learning from past experiences and acting more decisively. Ukrainian forces continue to demonstrate tactical innovation and resilience in their defensive operations around Pokrovsk. Military analysts note the sophisticated coordination between different units and the effective use of intelligence-gathering technology. The operations reflect months of strategic planning and international military cooperation, with Ukrainian forces adapting quickly to changing battlefield conditions. This adaptability has become a hallmark of Ukraine's defense strategy. International support continues to provide Ukraine with advanced defensive capabilities while maintaining focus on protecting civilian areas and infrastructure. Brussels Airport's swift response to unauthorized drone activity demonstrates how European aviation security continues to evolve and improve. The temporary grounding of flights, while inconvenient, showed the airport's commitment to passenger safety above all else. The incident was resolved quickly through coordination between airport security, air traffic control, and law enforcement. Normal operations resumed with enhanced monitoring protocols in place. This event highlights the ongoing development of counter-drone technology and procedures that keep air travel safe in an era of rapidly evolving security challenges. Chinese space engineers are successfully addressing debris concerns at their space station, demonstrating the international space community's commitment to astronaut safety. The measured response shows how space programs prioritize crew welfare over mission timelines. This incident is driving improvements in space debris tracking and collision avoidance systems that will benefit all international space operations. The collaborative sharing of space safety data helps protect astronauts from all nations. China's transparent handling of the situation reinforces international cooperation principles that make space exploration safer for everyone. Looking across today's stories, we see remarkable patterns of human resilience, innovation, and cooperation. From Egypt's celebration of cultural heritage to Brazil's commitment to accountability, from Europe's space achievements to the international response to natural disasters, today's news shows humanity at its best. What connects these stories is our shared commitment to progress. The Grand Egyptian Museum preserves our past while inspiring our future. Climate summit negotiations in Brazil are creating practical solutions for global challenges. European space technology advances our understanding of Earth itself. Even in difficult stories, the Brazil police operation, Sudan's crisis, and natural disasters, we see accountability, international cooperation, and communities supporting each other. These responses demonstrate that our institutions and values are working, even when facing serious challenges. Today's news offers 3 key takeaways for your day. First, human achievement continues to reach new heights, as shown by Egypt's museum and Europe's space success. Second, accountability and transparency remain strong in democratic societies, even during difficult moments. Third, international cooperation solves problems, from climate action to disaster response to space safety. Despite the challenges we face, today's stories remind us that progress is possible when communities work together. Innovation thrives, cultures celebrate their heritage, and people support each other across borders. As you start your Tuesday, remember that you're part of this global community that creates museums, launches satellites, responds to crises, and builds a better future together. Thank you for joining us on the Daily Signal. I'm Remo. Stay informed, stay engaged, and have an excellent day.
Unfiltered. Now.